They made fun of him, they told him he would never make it. But today, he has something important to say. So, let's talk about it. Hey everyone, it's Charles. How are you today? 25 years ago, Ash Ketchum set out from Pallet Town on a quest to become a Pokemon master. He wasn't particularly skilled, he didn't know how to battle, he let the small things go to his head, he went through tough times with his friends, he unwittingly dressed up as a girl to help hardened criminals, invade a gym and burn it to the ground. Basically, he was an idiot, and people knew it. In-universe, trainers and spectators laughed at him, viewers mocked his lack of talent and foolish mistakes. Even his own Pokemon did not respect him, and in the Indigo League he suffered a humiliating defeat on account of his own shortcomings. But Ash has always had heart, and since then he has traveled far and wide. He has won the Orange League, the Battle Frontier, and the Alola League. He is a champion who has risen up the ranks of the World Coronation Series to claim a spot in the Masters 8 tournament as the 8th best trainer on the planet. And today, as unbelievable as it is, he is going head-to-head with the champion of Hoenn, Steven Stone, as he struggles to push closer to becoming the #1 trainer in the world. Ash has already proved so much to his supporters and his detractors, but is he really on the same level as Steven, one of the most powerful trainers in the Pokemon universe? Pokemon Journeys episode 118 has the answers, and today's plan is to break down the Battle of Champions and discuss its significance in the broader anime. So instead of running in half-cocked, we are going to pump up the payoff by first quickly exploring Steven's backstory as well as his interactions with Ash in advance of discussing the battle itself. And as always, it is going to be a fun time, so please subscribe and let's jump right in. Everyone seems to know all about Ashy Boy, but what is the deal with Steven Stone? Not only is Steven Stone the reigning champion of Hoenn, but he is also the heir to the powerful Devon Corporation and a man who likes stones. And he's been one of the most popular champions of the Pokemon universe for many years because he is tough as tungsten, and he exudes an aura of coolness and regality much like the #2 hero, Cynthia. Do you exude an aura of coolness and regality? Of all the opponents Ash could be taking on in his first Masters 8 round, Steven is kind of an interesting choice because, well, their first encounter was in a cave back in episode 22 of the Ruby and Sapphire series, wherein Ash was left in awe at Steven's power. But their next meeting was not until 13 years later, in the Team Flare arc of the X, Y, and Z series, shortly after Steven rode into battle atop his shiny Mega Metagross to kick ass and take names. We had actually seen a fair bit of Steven in his own exciting adventures, together with the Scarf Drip King during the Mega Evolution Specials series, but compared to the likes of Iris, Cynthia, Lance, or even Diantha, Ash is not nearly as well acquainted with Steven Stone. What this means is that Ash probably does not have much insight into Steven's battle tactics. Accordingly, the match will feel fresh, and also that all the viewers and gamers out there will finally get to see one of the most beloved champions of all time unleash his powers in an official match 19 years in the making. Of course, whether or not Ash should have battled Steven as his first round opponent is a hotly debated topic in the Pokemon fandom, but I think that forcing Ash into a brutal opening matchup against a powerhouse of a champion, the third strongest trainer in the world, presents the perfect opportunity to both showcase Steven's strength as well as Ash's growth. And the significance of this match in the broader context of the anime cannot be stressed enough, because Steven Stone is the strongest opponent Ash Ketchum has ever faced in a sanctioned battle, bar none. And everyone in universe in Pokemon Journeys 118 knows it. From the spectators in the crowd, to Ash's mom, to Ash's mom's boyfriend, to Ash's pet pig back home, to Ash himself. The atmosphere in Winden Stadium is electrifying as the match kicks off, and I cannot wait to dig into this battle. So let's put everything in perspective with a quick team analysis, and then dive Hoppips first into the fight night. Steven Hoenn's hunk of steel is represented by his hunk of steel, Metagross. The signature Mega Evolution capable ace absolutely nobody would want to arm wrestle. Aggron, the mountain man who absolutely bodied Team Rocket 19 years ago, and Cradilly because even Spelunker Steven needs to touch grass from time to time. And on Ash's side we have Pikachu, that Pokemon with the cutest, softest little toes, Gengar who has really shaped up after Ash's special training with Alistair, and Fish, Fish, Mr. Fish, the unpredictable surprise beast referred to by some as Dracovish. It's quite the card with the experience stacked in Steven's favor, but Ash's veteran Pikachu leading two promising rookies full of heart into battle who should not be underestimated. To quickly speak to the significance of some of these Pokemon, regarding the two stallions backing up Steven's ace, Aggron is a tanky heavy hitter who can strike across the typing spectrum, and Steven's Cradily is a utility player who can take hits, recover HP, and hit hard. And as for Steven's shiny Mega Metagross, you may remember Hoenn's heavy metal hero ripping Alon's Mega Charizard X straight through the side of a mountain, eating up Alonzard's super effective blast burn like a bowl of mac and cheese, and holding its ground against Primal Kyogre, while protecting friends during the giant rock calamity. You can bet Eminem will be near unstoppable when the Mega Stones hit the fan, but Ash has known about Steven's Mega Metagross for ages, and even received anti-Metagross training, courtesy of Paul Powers in advance of the tournament. So he is as ready as he will ever be. I'm sure people will argue that Ash should have brought Charizard, Infernape, or even Incineroar on board for this fight, and that would have been so cool. I mean, hot. But at the same time, each of these Pokemon have glaring weaknesses to Steven's Steel Stallions and Cradily. So I don't think he went wrong with the squad pulled together from his Journey's Pokemon pool. Gengar, who recently mastered Will-O-Wisp in its training with Paul Powers, is going to be a big factor in the matchup, as not only can it hit Metagross for weakness with Shadow Ball, but it can lay out match-tipping burn damage on any of Steven's Pokemon with Will-O-Wisp. And we know that whenever one of Ash's Pokemon learns a big new move, they soon put it to deadly use. Of course, nobody was expecting that Ash's Gengar would take out Steven's Metagross, as it could easily get snapped by a single Psychic, but we can anticipate that the Paranormal Purple will be dropping some serious hurtin' bombs on Aggron and Cradily. As for one of my favorites, Dracovish, Mr. Fish can hit Aggron for weakness with Vicious Rend, or Water Gun, I suppose. It can wall up Cradily with Ice Fang, and it resists Steel-type attacks, making it a great choice for the matchup. Lastly, Pikachu needs no introduction, but I will just say that Iron Tail is a big threat to Cradily, and we cannot forget that Pikachu is a certified Metagross killer, having already knocked out 2 in past tournaments. And with that said, it is now time to break down the biggest match of Ash Ketchum's career. Ash opens with Dracovish, and Steven surprises everyone by leading with Metagross to put pressure on Ash out the gates. Godspeed, Mr. Fish. But after a short scuffle, Steven substitutes Big M with Aggron to keep his ace fresh for the late game. Ash and Steven exchange words, and this is the most fired up we have ever seen Steven. Everyone in this tournament is in it to win it, and it is awesome. Dracovish wastes no time ripping in with Dragon Rush, but Aggron turns the surprise beast into Fish Fillet. Poor Mr. Fish. Ash follows up with Gengar, who gets all fired up and lets loose Will-O-Wisp, taking a hit in the process, but putting the crucial burn condition on the board. And after Big Aggron cracks off Stone Edge, which Gengar repels with Dazzling Gleam, it succumbs to its burns, as a nod to the successful training in episode 114. It was a really nice touch. But Steven is cool and collected as always, and calmly puts the next piece of his game plan into action. Out comes Cradily, and this battle is a nasty one from the get-go. Gengar was looking pretty strong against Aggron, but the more technical play from Cradily soon puts our ghostly gladiator up against the ropes. And then it happens. Cradily manages to ensnare Gengar's limbs with Power Whip and hold it tight in a restrained position mid-air with Ingrain. The last time we saw a nasty setup like this, Ash's Lucario got peppered with free shot after free shot to the gut by Beezmachamp, and it was not pretty. And sure enough, as Cradily restrains Gengar, it charges up a point-blank Meteor Beam. Ash has Gengar respond with a desperate Dazzling Gleam. Meteor Beam and Dazzling Gleam collide, and once we can finally see what is even happening again, we find out that Gengar has managed to wriggle free and follows up with Shadow Ball, only to get whipped right out of the match in the next moment. Well, Gengar did good work out there, but someone else will have to finish up the job. Ash has no option but to send out Pikachu, who immediately impresses by landing Quick Attack, then scaling Cradily's Rock Blast in a nod to the Draco Meteor Climb technique of yesteryear. And when Cradily follows up with Power Whip, Pikachu is able to counter by tying Cradily's tendrils up with Electro Web. And that is classic Chef's Kiss Ketchum ingenuity for you. Even Leon is impressed. And you can call Pikachu the Weed Whacker, because Cradily gets whacked, and that is that. Nothing like an Iron Tail straight to the face. What's next? Steven fields Metagross. And then it happens, Steven Mega Evolves his Metagross into an absolute menace. And wowzers, we are off to the races. Of course, we've seen Pikachu take down 2 vanilla Metagrosses in the past, but this is Steven Stone's Diamond Duty Mega Metagross we are talking about, not the mere Gallium Gross from the Evergrande Conference Puss in Boots battle, and the gap is startling. Mega Metagross rips around the stadium at an astonishing speed, making quick and nimble Pikachu look like molasses dripping onto a slab of bread on your grandmother's dinner table. Pikachu cannot land Thunderbolt, it gets ransacked by Meteor Mash, and as the one-sided beatdown continues, the reality that Ash's dream might be coming to an end sinks in. I should note that the writers did a great job here portraying the strength and speed of Steven's Metagross while building tension in the stadium up to a palpable level. Particularly riveting were the faces of Ash's mother and his other supporters looking on in shock as their hero's chance at victory slipped further and further away. And it really did look like it was all over for Team Ketchum. But as we know, Ash Ketchum does not give up until it is over, and he and Pikachu had one final card to play. Ash looks to Pikachu, and you know it is the time we have all been waiting for. Time to see the show-stopping move with which our two heroes won the hearts of the people of Alola just a few years ago. Of course, I'm talking about 10 million volt Thunderbolt. Ash's Pikachu lets it rip, Steven's Metagross comes in hot, and the two attacks collide. But Pikachu's signature move overpowers Mega Metagross, slamming it into the ground. And miraculously, Metagross actually does survive 10 million volt Thunderbolt, but before it has time to react, Pikachu follows up with a real cracker of an Iron Tail. Where have we seen that before? And with that, it is out. It is over. The crowd erupts. Ash is overjoyed. And just like that, Ash Ketchum has done what seemed absolutely impossible. 19 years ago, on the day he first encountered Steven Stone in the depths of Granite Cave over in Hoenn. Not only has he picked up his first win in the Masters 8 tournament, but he has done it versus the third strongest trainer in the world against all odds. And while I'm sure some will have their criticisms of the battle itself, I would give it 4 Steven Stones out of 5 Steven Stones, as I quite enjoyed the action, and in its broader strokes, the entire ordeal was thematic fondue of the I would like to take a bath in it variety, I guess. As someone whose childhood is rooted in the Indigo League era of the show, it was truly dazzling to see Ash pull off this victory. Certainly, he did beat Unova champion Iris the previous year, but he came up together with Iris, and he has beaten her before, so it was par for the course. This time, on the other hand, he beat an old blood champion for the very first time in his career, something that has been portrayed as nigh impossible over the past 25 years of the show. And now we know that Ash going the distance is a very realistic possibility, and I simply cannot wait to see his battle against Cynthia. Indeed, way back then, when Ash Ketchum was just setting out, nobody believed in him. But today, he sent everyone a wonderful message. Believe in yourself, never give up till it's over, and you can do truly amazing things.